So, I've got a story to tell you. I was down here before, the time before, trying to catch a ferry, right? This is down by near the docks of Southampton, and I've got to tell you what happened. I'd just been into Subway and bought a sandwich because I wanted to get some lunch for the trip. And I made my way down here quickly, and it started really pissing with rain. It started getting bad. And so what I did was, coming down like I was, I had my brolly in one hand, I had a big bag on my back, that was heavy, as it were. And then, I had a Subway bag, I was carrying that blimmin' thing, and that was obviously getting cold. I had a ferry to catch. I made it down here, it was rain. I ran for the ferry, missed it. I checked the time, I'd missed it by 2 minutes, it was gone. There was going to be a half-hour wait till the next one. I was starving hungry, it was late for dinner, didn't know what to do, so I thought, well, it's half an hour, I've got my dinner on me, I was going to take it with me and eat it once I'd arrived, so I wasn't going to be later, as is fair, right? So I decided I'm going to have to stop and eat, but where am I going to eat? I thought, where am I going to eat? It was pissing down, not at all like today. So I looked around, and you could see there's benches here, but, I mean, the problem is, when we look at what's here, there is a bit of underhang, shelter, but the rain was driving, and it would have driven in onto the bench and soaked me through, and I did take a look at the bench as well. It was completely soaked through, completely. I mean, you've got these few benches here, you've got those benches out there in the open, nothing above them at all. That's really sucky. More benches down there, open, no shelter, nothing. Right, then we make our way inside, and I thought, right, this'll do, I thought. This is the way into the ferry, and I thought, this'll do. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll have it under this, because this is very nice and sheltered, this thing. But then the problem is that this is a smoking area. We can see the proof of that here with Stubbit cigarette disposal. So I couldn't stand up here or sit on the floor like some common tramp just eating a damn sandwich. So this is where I relied a little bit on human compassion, but guess what, audience? That's lacking lately. So I make my way into here, and I walk around, and it's pissing with rain. Now they used to have benches here. Of course, that's gone now. This used to be the ferry entrance way. That's gone. That's all different. So I've still got nowhere to sit unless I want to try and sit on a toilet seat and eat a damn sandwich. So then what do? I make my way up here. I go up this end. And even up through the other end, it wasn't happening. There was nothing. So there was no seating, and the only seating was owned by another place. And then there was this seating, this place, which is the French Patisserie Cafe. And I think that's the owner right there. So I took a look, and it was about as crowded as this. Basically not crowded at all. I had my little Subway sandwich, and I took to that seat there, right into the corner, right the way into the corner. There was no one near me. I wasn't disturbing anyone. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I just used that one seat just to have my sandwich from. Now I thought to myself, they're going to give me shit, aren't they? Right, I'm going to be eating this, and someone in the management, someone in the staff is probably going to come out and say, yeah, what are you doing? You haven't bought that here, you can't eat it on our tables. I was being very, very careful to not get anything on the table. I was using the Subway bag to eat it on, and the wrapping. I wasn't letting anything get anywhere. And I decided, there comes a time in life, sometimes, when you have to put your foot down. You have to make a decision, a stand on something. So I decided, no matter what happens, rain or shine, and unfortunately it was only rain or worse rain, or monsoon, I was going to finish that sandwich at that table. I was going to finish. If someone was going to ask me to move, I will refuse. There comes a time somewhere when you just feel that human compassion ought to be there for you. You know what I mean? That someone ought to have a bit of compassion. So it was a test of that, really, and I thought, I've got no other choice other than to starve or sit on the floor like a tramp around the smokers. I've got nothing else I can do. So I sat there and I ate it, and the staff were looking at me weird. They were giving me the funniest looks. And I just finished off the last mouthful, and I was adamant no one's going to shift me. I finish off the last mouthful, and seemingly the manageress approaches me, the very person that I just pointed out down the way. Right? And she says, "Oh, could you move? I'm eating the last mouthful." I finish my mouthful, I swallow, and say, "Yeah, sure. You're not allowed to be here." Now, here's what she's gone and done. Missed out on a customer. Because I was sitting there, and I was actually feeling bad for them bastards. I was thinking, do you know what? I'm going to order something myself. I'm going to order a little dessert thing, just for the fact that I've used their table. I'll become a customer, you know? I'll get a little thing to go. A little Danish or something like that. Wasn't to be. Wasn't to be. Not after you spoke to me like that. No compassion. Just like a cold robot. And that's what the world's becoming now. No compassion for another person. If I were to even try and explain myself to somebody whose English isn't their first language, there's the chance of complications and mix-ups and things that could happen. They could think I'm talking about some sort of terrorist act or something, and the next thing I know, something silly could happen. I could end up in a comedy sitcom sketch sort of thing, like Victor Malta or something, banged up in chains or whatever. But out of order, and to me, that sums up perfectly the absolute lack of compassion. So if you're ever down here and see this place, the one on the end, just before the Hythe Ferry, the French patisserie, give them a big you from me. Rob out. Tartar the Raz.